Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. Hope the levels are good. Thank you for patiently waiting for the show to go. It is me, Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV, episode 19 of CIA. We're having a special show. It's happening on a Monday, not a Sunday. Um, Life got a little hectic. Sorry. It's happening on a Tuesday, not a Monday. My days are all messed up. But first things first, my peoples come first. My peoples are those of you in the comments, those of you giving me those likes, those of you with the subs. Thank you so very much. It's going to be a good show, and I'm glad you guys are all here. It's going to be some good topics. Some good topics. You see, whether you saw it on Twitter, whether you saw it on YouTube, whether you're seeing it now for the first time. You see what's happening right here. You see what's happening right here. We just completed week 4. All right. It's actually September 5th. It was the first day back to school. It's back to school. So yesterday, things got a little hectic getting those plans for, making sure the kids got out the door, everything was calm. And then on top of that, today was a little problematic because met with the surgeon, met with rehab, and then obviously getting in the show. So apologies for the delayed start. I did update the start, so hopefully you all saw that with your notifications. But we're here. We're live. All right. So, I got a shout out. I got to shout out whoever happens to be first in the comments. I got to show them some love. The CIA, we got to do it properly. Let me see who's in the building first. Dre P, my guy in the building. Dre P goes, good question. Both Liverpool and Arsenal haven't looked at their best, and to be honest, have thus far been depending on a little luck and the opposition losing the plot right at the end. Dre P, we're going to dive in a little bit. We're gonna break some things down because I truly believe, Dre, I truly believe that the greatest threat to our title run, the greatest threat to winning a title against us happens to be Liverpool or Arsenal. But which one? Who's really a contender? Who's really a pretender? You know what I mean? I don't think those other clubs, as respectful as I can be, I don't think the Uniteds, the Spurs, the Newcastles, the Brightons, I don't think that they're going to be consistent enough to be challenging for the title as it stands right now. And again, this is looking at squad, this is looking at starting 11, this is looking at their entire season. What did they have to manage? Is it Europa? Is it Champions League? Also, is it the quality of their manager? Does their manager show that they have the ability? You know what I mean? We got a lot to break down. Next up, we got DC. DC, lovely to have you in the chat. She goes, "Hi, Vader. Hope your recovery is going smoothly." DC, let me give you a little update because it's actually been pretty promising. We're week 4 from surgery. Okay, so that's good. I do have to continue to walk with. You know what? Actually, let me show you. Let me show you guys. Hopefully this shows up on camera. All right. So this is an immobilizer right here. This black thing right there. It's an immobilizer. It keeps my leg from bending. I've got to keep that on whenever I put weight. What's my lighting all messed up now? Oh, what did I do? What did I do? My lighting's messed up. Hold on. Oh, fix itself. So I got to keep the immobilizer on, so I can't bend my leg. Sorry if I'm going into too much detail with you, DC, but you kind of asked and I want to share. So I got to keep the immobilizer on. I got to keep the crutches. I can't put any weight on this leg without that. However, I am able to bend it, right? I am able to bend my leg. So that's good. And that's the rehab. The rehab is just like, it's the physio person. They're just applying the pressure to bend my leg, have that knee move, and get the mobility in that quad tendon. That's really just it. So that's 4 weeks in surgery. It's looking good. I got to keep this on for another 3 weeks with crutches. And then after that, we'll see. Then after that, I might be good to then then put weight on it on myself, and that's when the muscle will continue. Then it'll start growing on its own because it's almost back to normal. So if that was a little too much detail, my apologies. But you say it once, you don't got to say it again. Let me go back to the comments. Daniel in the building, he goes, big up Vader, my guy with the flames. Daniel wants to say, certain people in our fan base have agendas against Alvarez. Disrespectful. You know what, Daniel? This is going to be a topic one day. And I don't know if it should happen on Why Always Me or if it should be CIA. I have a feeling it should be Why Always Me, because then I can kind of just vent, because I know when you guys tune in, it's a little bit of a review with regards to our threats and targets. But there's way too many player agendas that's developing. And it's almost like some of our fan base are bored. Like they're bored to have to deal with rivals. So in turn, they're picking player agendas and having player rivals within the fan base. It's weird. It's weird to me, but yeah, I mean, that's how we're all different fans. We all move differently. So that's, if you kind of enjoy that back and forth within the fan base, I guess you go for it. Daniel goes, that kit looks, woo, Daniel, don't gas me, man. I'm gonna start modeling out here. But nah, this shirt is crispy. It's crispy. I really like, and again, depending on how the light hits, you know what I mean? Like the lightning really, like it pops, as well as the sponsor and the badge. You know what I mean? DC, no worries, Vader. Family and health first. 100%. 100%. Yeah, absolutely right. Ethan, hi. Told you Gomez is class. Ethan, you've been saying it for a while. Gomez, I think he's a natural attacking player, and he obviously Pep's challenged him to do things in a defensive role. But hey, he's got that creative ability, and he's shifty. He's shifty. I like what he did for that assist for Holland. Daniel, we need to talk about the tactical change in the second half. It was phenomenal. The triangle of Foden, Alvarez, and Holland. Yes, and if you happen to miss Gundalorian pitch points breakdown, he actually talked about, he compared heat maps, not even heat maps, he compared average position by player in the first half and second half. And what was really interesting was when you have, the attacking mind of Alvarez and Foden, and then you have Holland, who's actually dropping into build-up play a lot more. You can see how, I don't want to call them decoys, but you can see how Holland now drawing so much attention from defenders, maybe following him, creating gaps and vacancies for Alvarez and Foden to run into, to channel into. Ooh, we're looking scary. We're looking scary, Daniel. Ethan, this kid is a win. This kid is a win. Trust me. And you know what? Confessions. All right, confessions. And I can already hear my brothers in my mind right now, because they used to always clown me about this. But this is a large. This is a large, but I don't know if you can tell. Like, it's a large, but it fits. Like the arms fit kind of snug, and I don't know if that was the intended look, but I can see those of you in the chat that are a little muscle bound. Those of you ladies that happen to, I don't even know how to politically correct say this, but those of you that want to maybe show off, the pectorals, you might want to get a size down. It's a very nice shirt. Daniel, hope your recovery as quick as possible. Yeah, I hope I recover as quick as possible. And again, I can't rush it because I don't want anything to be problematic. But nah, it's progressing as planned. Edison, hey, those of you in the chat don't know, Edison and myself, IEGA, battle gamers. He AC Milan, me using obviously Manchester City, and at times I would use Lille. Man, we used to have some serious battles. I wonder how, Edison, I wonder how you're feeling about your season this year, what AC is going to do. Ethan, Calvin Phillips did good with his cameo. Ethan, I agree. And do I get into talking City on the front end, or you know what? You know what? I need to keep the right structure. We're going to go through the standings, and we're going to do that proper, and we're definitely going to get into talking about City. Edison says, "What's up, DC? Thanks for the update. I'm glad rehab is helping. It's huge. It's been very good. Thank you, DC." Edison Vader, give an answer on how did Man United get screwed on Onana deal. Edison, are we surprised with the deals that United make? Like let's really think about it. What has been since Sir Alex Ferguson? Let's be real here. Since Sir Alex Ferguson, what has been a signing that's kind of lasted a little bit of the test of time? Like that's been, quality signing over the years. Dare we say it was David De Gea? Was he the last signing that had that longevity, had that impact? Onana's, I can't kill him too much because that defensive line that was in front of him to close out that game wasn't the best. But United stay getting getting taken advantage of in the transfer window. Trust me. DC, I still think Arsenal will be our biggest competition again. I love seeing United going up in flames. Yes. Puff of smoke, I'm cool with. Ashes, I'm cool with. I will warm my hands over it and dance in the ashes. I like that. That's very Shakespearean, DC. I wonder, are you a writer? That's actually well written. Very visual. Edison, they told me he's the best in the world. Edison, listen. Edison, I'm sure within your circles, you come across a lot of Inter Milan fans, or should I say Inter fans? Inter fans, man, they talk crazy. And you know what? And they have the advantage, at least with me, not so much with you because you live it, but I don't follow their league. So I can't get in and really criticize their squad or criticize performances because I don't watch them like that. I am so thankful that we got that win in Champions League. Ooh, I'm so thankful we got that win. What? MCFR TV. Hi, Vader. Think it's my second stream tuning in. Thank you. Love the content. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And MCFR TV, I'm going to look you up. And check you out as well. Got the third shirt the other day with Nunez. Ooh, 27 then, right? You got number 27? Name and number? Nice. And the third jersey, that's this one. This is the third jersey. Look, you're gonna be looking nice. Let me know how you plan on hooking it up. See, my intention, little fashion break. My intention is I'm gonna hook it up with either a little hint of the sky blue, and shoes make that pop, or I might even like give it a little bit of the. Actually, I don't really have that color, but the badge color would be kind of hype, but I don't really have that color. Ethan, what name is on the back of your? No name, man. None of my jerseys have a name on the back. None of my jerseys. Although my son and daughter were treated the home kit, and they got Holland on the back. It's going to be the best thing. I can't wait for the next home game after international break. The three of us sitting on the couch. You know what I mean? We're going to have our jerseys on. I'm going to make sure that'll be a nice pick. I'm going to have to put emojis over their face because I don't want to put my kids on anything social just yet, but I look forward to doing that. Daniel, I'm waiting for us to win the Club World Cup. I want the away kit with the World Cup badge on it. Ooh, Daniel with the vision. That is nice. You know what? I also like seeing our home kits when they've got the special badges on the side as well. Those look nice and clean. But yeah, I'm looking forward to us winning that as well, Daniel. You know what? Dare I say? obviously I want to win the league. Don't get me wrong. All of you in the chat, don't get me wrong. I want to win the league. That 4-peat would be so sweet. That 4-peat would be so good. And I don't want to be greedy. But if it before winning that 4-peat, we win the Club World Cup, I'm actually going to be very happy. I'm going to be very happy. That's a different trophy in the cabinet. Even with the whole mess up in terms of who are playing Newcastle, I want that Carabao. Am I nuts? Am I nuts? I want that Carabao Cup. I want the League Cup. I do. So Club World Cup, Carabao League Cup, and then the 4-peat. That would be listen, don't kill me in the comments, but that for me as a season, listen, I'd be happy, guys. I'd be happy. I'm sorry. I'd be happy. Alec, hi Vader, watching on holiday. What? Yo, Alec, make sure you enjoy yourself. Take lots of photos. Not sure or if how you happen to travel, family, loved one, however you're doing it. Hey, enjoy your time, man, and I appreciate you tuning in. That's love right there. Thank you so much. MC is showing you love, saying hi. DC's in the building. Enjoy that holiday, man. No, I love the love in the chat. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I've seen you everywhere today, Alec. MCFC connect with CityXtra now here. Ooh, okay, nice. All right, let me see here. Daniel, you know what rivals always say? We don't care about City. They lie, Daniel. They lie. There's no we don't care about City. Listen, they can have their growing up, the tradition of me playing whoever, that was a rivalry. That's when us were having our fights and battles. You can have all of that. Today, you can say you don't care about City. You care about us. You cannot. Now, do you want to say losing to us hurts you in that heart as much as losing to so and so? Okay, that's cool. But to say you don't care about City, stop the damn lies. I feel the same right now. I generally don't care about them because we can only beat ourselves. We are miles better. Daniel, that's just it. Now, when we think of, you close your eyes, you think of winning that title, you don't care about any other club, right? You think about what you have to do to win it. I don't care about Arsenal. Like, honestly, I don't care about Arsenal. I have many EGA, when I was talking about Edison, many Arsenal fans within that group, having to play. I follow a great channel, Football Weekly. I don't know if they posted anything recently because I haven't seen any notifications. And I know how YouTube can kind of mess up with the notifications. But Football Weekly, huge, actually funny enough, huge AC Milan fan and huge Arsenal fan that do the show. But I never cared about Arsenal, right? For City, for me, it was always United. My the stories, the match, the looking up results, all of that was always more so related to United, related to Arsenal. Related to Liverpool. It was not related to Arsenal in that way. They were big matches when Arsenal were doing their thing, but it wasn't that kind of rivalry. Even now, I don't care about Arsenal. They got Jesus, Zinchenko, they got Arteta. I don't care about them. But when it's who's going to cost me, who's going to challenge me to win this title, who am I now seeing as a threat? Who's a target with regards to us completing our mission? It's Arsenal right now. That's the level of caring for them. Other than that, I could care less. Ethan, off topic. What's your go-to Chinese order? That's if you have. Of course, I have Chinese over here, Ethan. Man, what are you talking about? Here in Toronto, we got some epic quality, and not even mainstream, big, trendy. We got some authentic, hole in the wall setup Chinese shops, quality food. Go to order though. Go to order. I'm not, it's not too crazy. I like my dry garlic shrimp. I like my chicken fried rice. I don't do. I rarely do spring rolls. I don't really do that. And then what's another one? Chicken and broccoli. Why am I talking food? Let me not make you guys hungry, man. And look, I'm 20 minutes in, Ethan. Why had you make me do this? Let me stop. Alec. Shouting out to TV goes, don't fancy watching pantomime live show football for me, mate. Oh, yikes. Okay, they're going at it. Please, how is Yan Summer is untouchable right now? What is going on, Edison? I see Klilnical, my JA brethren in the background. I'm gonna bring him to the stage. We're gonna talk some ball. I see the comments. I'm gonna put a star right here because I gotta introduce my guy, and we gotta get into it. Because I want this show to be this show has to be short and sweet, and we gotta cover things because again, timeline. First day back to school. Gotta give the kids the attention. All right, here we go. Klilnical in the building. Welcome to the show. How you doing? What you saying, man?
Hey, what's up, my brother? How you doing?
I'm good. Y'all, you sound good. I can hear a smile on your face. European English champion, three-peat treble. How you doing? How's your day?
I'm even thinking about the 4 wins in a row as well. I'm really happy, and there's a lot of work to do during this international break for me as well. There are international games being played. I want to check out myself, and
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to getting myself prepared for the restart of the season as well. It's gonna be big.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, you know what we got to get into. The link was shared to kind of like the group chat. I know timing wise things got a little messed up. It is the middle of the week when we don't normally have the show, but I'm gonna get into it. And you know what? Let me make sure I set this up so I can go to it properly. We got to look at the standings. We got to deal with this past week and what's been happening because it's not looking good for some, man. It is not looking good for some. So let me put this up.
You know,
Beautiful.
speaking of that, when our game was going, when our game was going on, Vader,
Hmm.
there were a couple other games on at the same time. I think it was 10
Yes.
a.m. here. I
Yes.
had 3 screens set up at one point because I I did not want to miss any of what happened, and I'm glad I did that because, like you said, there's a lot to talk about.
So hold on. Let me break this down for those that are listening and watching. So when you have the three screens, right? Do you have sound for one? Like you have sound for the main game, or do you have all of them slightly on to hear celebrations? Like how do you do it?
So what I had to do is on my computer I could only get one with the sound. I had 2 games on, and the next
Okay.
was on my phone. So I could do sound for 2 games.
Okay.
Obviously, I needed the sound for the City game, and
Yeah.
I was also keeping an eye on the Chelsea game at the same time. It's
Yeah,
it's
that's
dedication. Yeah, I had to do it.
I rate that. I rate that 100%. So let's get into it. And I did start the comments. I'm gonna come back to them. Thank you so very much. And if you happen to have not done this yet, please hit that like button. If you've come to the channel, you haven't subbed yet, hit that sub button. But what we're gonna cover today, obviously, greatest threat, Liverpool, Arsenal. We're gonna tackle that. We're also gonna discuss, us winning four in a row. We start off season slow. You know what I mean? We kind of figure our way. The fact that we're starting the season slow, we still are. We're not in the fourth. We're not fifth. We're not in sixth gear. But we got 4 wins in a row. 4 wins in a row. And if we can just pick up wins all willy nilly like that, ooh, that's going to bode well for later in the season. But we got our fourth win. Liverpool got a win. Tottenham Spurs got a win. Arsenal got a win, that 3-1, even though it was tight in that 90th minute, 1-1 to United. But they got a win. And like Klilnical just said, he had 3 screens on. So he saw a lot of what happened over the weekend. And the fact that United and Chelsea have losses, we're going to have to break that down. But in the comments, let me know. Even just say one or the other. Liverpool, you think the biggest threat. Arsenal, you think the biggest threat. Or you happen to have a different team. Let me know. I'll put that on screen. Now, you see the standings right there. You see the standings, okay? Right here. I should Actually, I should put it over there because how I look at it, but nah, whatever. Um, you see us at the top. Manchester City, top of the standings, 4 wins. Ooh, I like that. Tottenham Spurs, second. Liverpool, third. West Ham, fourth. And honestly, the way West Ham's playing, that should be surprising. Arsenal, fifth. Not the start that they had last season, but I think they're still dangerous. Brighton, I think they're still trying to figure out the way to be as consistent as they can, but they're dangerous. Crystal Palace, seventh. Um, Brentford, eighth. Forest, ninth, and Forest got a win off United. Aston Villa, Unai Emery, a little inconsistency, but manager-wise, I think they're gonna be in that top half consistently throughout the year. United 11th right now, and Chelsea 12th. And if I dare I say, we go a little further, we got Fulham 13th and Newcastle 14th. So we talked about this, right? Because here at CIA Intelligent Agendas, we make sure that we identify the threats, right? And then when we identify the threats within that team, within that squad, within that club, we then want to maybe have some targets. Which players are key to go after? Which, is it the manager? Is it a case of just the system that they have in place? What do we really need to target? And I think all of us kind of had Newcastle as one of those potential clubs, but right now, 4 games in, they're 14th, and I'm gonna say it out loud just for those of you that you be listening and not watching right now. And I see my man in the background. We got Mancunian, the Mancune way in the background. Martin joining the show. Before I go any further, let me introduce Martin. Martin, thanks for joining the show. Hope you're well. Thanks for joining us today. Please say hi to the peoples.
Hello. Hi, mate. Yeah, not too bad. I've been having a break.
Nice. No, a break's needed. A break's needed. Trust me.
Evening, Martin. Good to hear from you.
Evening, Klilnical. Yeah, I'm having a break, especially at the moment. I'm just getting off. Yeah. Anyway, no, carry on. I won't do that.
No worries. Let me shout out my gal. I'm shouting out my gal, Rose. Rose, hope you're doing well. She goes, hi, Vader and Clinical. Do you realize that Manchester City is in a class by themselves? I'm not being arrogant. You never are. Rose, you never are. It's the truth. God bless Manchester City. Mm-hmm. My gal, you said that perfectly well, and I agree with you. We right now, and I don't think it's arrogance. Martin, I'm gonna throw this to you. I don't think it's arrogance, but 4 games in, it does look like we do look like we're in a class to ourselves right now. I know it's early, but we do look good. Would you agree?
Look good. Define look good.
Define look good. Okay.
It depends what you mean by looking good. Do we look irresistibly amazing? No.
Yeah.
Do we look good for 4 games in? 4 wins out of 4. Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
And the scary thing is when we hit our full stride.
Yeah.
That's where it becomes scary for everyone. So no one wouldn't say we are our exceptional best, but we won 4 out of 4, so you can't complain.
Very true. Very true. You're getting some love in the chat. Everyone's saying hi, Martin. Clinical got some love as well. Now, okay. I think I'm going to take this off the screen. Let me take this off screen, and let me do it proper. Vader game. Now, I'm breezing through. I'm not even talking about them because the international break, maybe we'll deal with it more so closing in to when we're back. But Newcastle, 4 wins. No, what am I saying? 4 games played, 1 win, 3 losses. Now, I think it's going to be tough for Newcastle this year. They're in Champions League. They are going to have a target on their back. Right now, it does look like I didn't mean to do that. Not to say that they're figured out. They're not figured out, but I think they do have more eyes on them. And they're not going to surprise any teams right now. They're not going to surprise any teams. So because of that, start, they're gonna have to figure their way out of it. They're gonna have to get some wins and be threatening again. But can Eddie Howe be that guy? I think so. I think so. And when I say challenge or when I say improve, I think they'll be in that top 6 mix. I think they'll be in that top 6 mix in terms of looking to get wins, looking to maybe fight and get into that 5th, 4th spot later in the year. But that's where I see Newcastle right now. If you guys disagree, if you think they're not going to be anywhere near 6 moving forward, feel free to kind of share that right now. But
I think they'll get 6th.
You think they'll
fall? I don't think they'll get any higher.
Okay.
I just don't. I've said it loads. I don't think Eddie Howe's the guy, the long-term guy.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. And I don't disagree too much. I think now that the transfer window is closed, it's closed for us. It's still open for Saudi, so we'll see whether they try to poach some players or not. But with the transfer window closed, this is when I feel comfortable. Those of you in the chat, this is when I'm like, you know what? Now you can ask me where I think teams are going to fall. Who's going to be top 6? Who's going to be top 4? Who's a threat? Because we know what the squads are built off of, right? So, Dre wants to say, I'm surprised at Villa's poor start. I thought they were top 6, 7, but now looking tough. It's early, but I think Unai Emery will get it right. But let me say this. And MCFR wants to say, St. Martin, I said it the other night. Eddie Howe will not be there soon. You don't think Eddie Howe is going to survive the season? MCFR, we're going to have to talk about that. But we got Newcastle. Go ahead, Martin.
I'm not sure. It depends. Because the problem is, when you get in a rut of defeats, and the scary thing is about those defeats, all those defeats they got, even the Liverpool one, they did okay, but you should be beating Liverpool at home with 10 men.
Yes.
I mean, this is the problem. And this is what I said last year. They're on a journey. They're enjoying the journey, but they're a year or two ahead of schedule, which is great and it's exciting and everything else. But when you come up against Borussia Dortmund, for example, or a PSG or whoever else in the Champions League, you can't be naive. You can't just sit back and play on the counter. That won't work.
Yeah.
Because you're coming up against more astute teams who know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I've always said it. Eddie Howe is kind of like their. I mean, he's better than Mark Hughes, but he's kind of like their Mark Hughes. He's like the step one in the project.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The owners aren't sat there going, "Oh yeah, we've always wanted Eddie Howe as manager." The same way Sheikh Mansour didn't walk in the door and go, "Yeah, I want Mark Hughes as my manager for the next 10 years."
Yeah,
there is a goal because. It's all right getting Tonali and a Livramento and all them, but the players that are eventually going to want to sign are not going to come for Eddie Howe. And I don't mean that in any kind of disrespect. They're just not.
Well, let me.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, let me do this real quick for Newcastle because their last game obviously was against Brighton, and I think Brighton showed them levels. Their next game back after international break, which will be a Saturday, so they'll play the game. We'll do a review the next time we do CIA with regards to a review show. But they play Brentford. That's going to be a big game. Brentford's going to be a big game for them, and then that goes into 3 days later. That will be Group Stage Champions League. So it's going to Martin's point, and I think
away in Milan.
Yes, away to AC. To what MCFR was saying, MCFR TV was saying, now that they've got the league to deal with and Champions League, a lot of people are going to be watching and seeing what starting 11 does he have in the Brentford game for 3 days later to play in Champions League. So, it's going to be fun times. I'm looking forward to it, but that's Newcastle coming up next. Next, we got Fulham. Won't talk too much about Fulham, although they did give us a tough game for the first half. I think we showed our levels in the second half. But next up is 12th in the standings, Chelsea. Now, there's nothing more I can really say about Chelsea that hasn't already been said because, yes, we all know they spent over $1 billion in, 3 transfer windows. Long-term contracts with regards to young youth players. I think their senior players, Thiago Silva, Sterling, I think those are like their seniors that they're kind of like leaning on. Chelsea lost their last game against Nottingham Forest, could not score to save their lives. They're not threatening in attack at all. They need to find, as good as Jackson's been in terms of a new addition, they need to find a true striker. Hey, we're blessed. We're spoiled in terms of having a Holland, having an Alvarez. Like, we're also getting goals from our defensive midfielders. Like, we're good right now. But Chelsea need to find the scoring touch. I think they couldn't ask for anything better in terms of international break, and then to come back and play against Bournemouth. They play Bournemouth when they come back, and then 7 days later, because they're not playing in Champions League, they play Aston Villa on the 24th.
Chelsea are weird. Chelsea are a very weird team.
Mm.
They're a very weird club because. Now, I might shock some here. Some may know, some may not. But they're not actually American-owned. I know everyone thinks they are. They're actually not fully American-owned. Todd Bowley does not own Chelsea.
No, I know.
He's chairman. They've actually got some connections to PIF and Saudi. Believe it or not.
Really?
The two main guys who actually run them are Saudi related.
So Bowley's kind of like just the face of the.
Todd Bowley's just the face that runs the place. Yeah. He's basically the front guy. But everyone thinks that it's a very weird consortium. But when you look into it properly, this is why there was that big controversy between the Saudi links and when they were selling all the players off to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
they don't think I don't agree with that tough start, by the way, in Newcastle.
What do you mean? You don't agree with that?
Because if they want to make top 4, how's that a tough start?
No, but come on, Martin. Now you're being harsh.
No. Let me throw you this one to you then. Have Liverpool had a tough start?
I would say yes. They started the season versus Chelsea, and then they had to play Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had to play Newcastle.
No, but that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying about the Newcastle. It's not, yes, on paper it's a tough start, but not for where Newcastle are trying to get to. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, I understand your point.
It's a tough start if you're Luton Town. It's a tough start if you. But when you are trying to challenge, because these are their words, they were challenging for the title. Stuart said that they were going to win the title.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It depends how you run it on a tough start and not a tough start.
Fair point.
It's only because of where they want to be. But just back to the Chelsea thing, it's very weird because, you hear about Todd Bowley with all these ideas and everything else, and technically he can't really dictate all these ideas because he's only the chairman. Yeah. He's not the owner. I don't know where this proclaimed thing that he was the owner came from. I don't know where that actually came from.
I don't know where that came from, but because he was the mouthpiece for the club, and even when he was talking about All-Star weekends and all that kind of stuff with regards to the game, it kind of just became tied to it. So I think it was more out of convenience.
I'm trying to think of the two names. I can't think of the two names without looking. There's two guys who are the investment guys behind them, and I can't think of the names. It's gone out my head.
Sorry, 1 second.
So Martin, I actually have a question for you. I was looking at Nico Jackson in that game, and I know there's been a lot of hype around him. You know, he had a good preseason and he looks good when he's on the ball. But I have to ask you, what do you think is the difference between him and João Felix, given what Felix was bringing into Chelsea when he just came in?
I think probably Nick Jackson's got more of a higher ceiling than João Felix. I think he's got a lot more potential than João Felix. I think João Felix is in danger of becoming a journeyman in football. Started out with so much potential, goes off to Atletico Madrid, and I don't know what it was. He got to Atletico and just drowned. I don't know what it was. He just drowned. I don't know whether it was the fade, the hype behind him. I don't know. It's weird because he keeps getting loaned out everywhere. That won't help.
It's clear that he's trying to get out of Atletico, and he's kind of stuck there. But the interesting thing that you just said is that before going there, we knew that this is a player with bags of potential. So it's just shocking to see that all dissipate how it did. But him coming into Chelsea, that was his first move out of Atletico since he's been there. And he didn't really show anything in terms of effectiveness in that Chelsea team. And I feel like Nico Jackson is in a difficult situation right now where he's not that effective player that they need in the final third.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Nico's a good addition, but he can't be the fully depended, relied on attacker.
It seems like there's a lot of development there that you would prefer before he's the number one striker starting every week.
Yeah, I agree. Daniel, you're going to make me blush, man. You're going to make me blush. MCFRTV, yep. DC, she goes Glazers and 7 Hag in. Listen, let mighty United continue to succeed the way they're succeeding right now. I am all for it. All right, I think we covered enough about Chelsea. They're a disaster right now. They're going to try to figure it out. This international break came at the right time. Next up, we've got, and let me do this nice and clean.
Vader game.
Next up, we've got Manchester United. They're ranked 11th after 4 games. 4 games played, 2 wins, 2 losses. Their goal differential is -2. I think a lot of us watched this game because it was United versus Arsenal. It was the last game of the evening. And I'm not so much caught up with any of the controversial decision, but I will say this. The approach that I call Ten Hag a spicy Ollie. He's just got a little more sound bites come out of Ten Hag, a little more aggressiveness or overconfidence comes from Ten Hag. So I call him a spicy Ollie because tactically, all he's doing is refining a counter-attacking style, whether he wants to call it quick transition, however he wants to brand it. It's just counter-attack. He took that approach versus Arsenal. I think it was the right approach because he was playing away. Arsenal do have the attacking power. But it was the 90th minute. That game was 1-1. 90th minute, that game was 1-1. Called off offside goal that could have had United win. But neither, I'm going to throw this to you, Klilnical, because I know you had 3 screens on. Neither club looked title-winning, managing Champions League in the case for United as well as Arsenal. Neither club looked like title challengers to me. Am I spoiled because of past battles and knowing what it took to win versus Liverpool in past years, or am I a little arrogant, how many would say, because we did happen to win 3 in a row? But am I right to say neither club are threats?
So for me, that game was the best, the one I enjoyed the most of the weekend, aside from our game, of course. And the main reason for that was because, like you said, I didn't feel threatened by either team. I felt like both of them had a poor game. Okay. United, especially, they sat back and Arsenal had to do the majority of the work for the game, trying to break them down. So for me, Arsenal looked like the bigger threat of the two, but the current United team is poor. I hear United fans saying they feel like they deserved a draw, and I feel like they could have gotten one. But to say that they deserved it is a step too far, in my opinion. They didn't really offer anything aside from that one moment with Rashford where he kind of just went through behind the line and got his goal. But Arsenal had created the better chances. I think they were good value for the win, but Kai Havertz, it's a very difficult situation for Arteta to launch a counter-attack with what I see him trying now. The inverted right back and Kai Havertz in the midfield. There seems to be a lot going on over there, but yeah, I want to see what both teams are going to be doing after the break as well before I really start pulling them out of certain conversations.
I'm with you, Martin, because again, I know you've got some long-standing friends that are United fans. Obviously, you've heard how Arsenal fans talk about what they were going to do last year and what they're going to do this year. These two teams, they got Champions League to navigate. They got all the cup runs to navigate within our league as well. From what you're seeing right now, I know it's 4 games in, but what you're seeing right now, do any of them have what it takes to be that consistent challenger that's required to win the league? Ooh, he didn't.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Because I don't. I honestly, I disagree with Klilnical a little bit. With respect, I thought the game was awful. I was not impressed with the quality on either team.
Okay.
Chelsea are laughing at Arsenal, 65 million quid on that donkey in the middle. Sorry, but what a donkey. You know, I'm sat there watching AFTV, which is good for a laugh. You know, other Arsenal channels are available. Yeah. But I'm not being funny. They haven't learned one lesson because they're celebrating the title already. It's the 1st of September and they've already booked their title parade. Do me a favour. If Arsenal play like that against us when we're in full throttle, they'll get hammered 6-1, not 4-1.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I am not impressed by Arsenal. I am not impressed by them either over the road. They're just a mess of a football club, and it couldn't happen to her. I think United will improve because I think United have got a very good signing in Amrabat.
Yeah.
Højlund, I will admit, Højlund looked decent in his cameo.
He looked aggressive. I need to actually see him play a little more, but he looked aggressive. Held
the ball up very well. I mean, Mars much better outlet than that French donkey they've got up top as well. You know, the French roadrunner that they call Martial.
Yes.
I mean, the funny thing is with United is, honestly, sat there.
Sorry, Martin. Honestly, Martial cannot touch a pitch again. Like there's no.
But he will. He will.
He will. It's so bad to watch, but okay.
But he will. And the scary thing is, I thought I was in a time machine in the 94th minute. Thought we'd gone back 15 years when I'm sat watching Johnny Evans and Maguire at the back.
Yeah.
I thought it was 2011. Mancini was back. I don't know what was happening.
I have to say this. Daniel brings up a great point. Like, I know at the end of the day, some of you that didn't watch the game, you're going to look at the scoreline, you're going to be like 3-1. 3-1 flattered. Daniel's absolutely right. It flattered Arsenal. Yeah. That was a 1-1 in the 90th something minute.
Arsenal were not 3-1 better.
Continue, Martin. Can I just add to that real quick?
Yeah.
The reason why I said I enjoyed the game so much is exactly like you said. I found it so amusing to see how shit both Arsenal and United were coming up against each other, and there was just after both of them scored, which was one right after the other, United can't keep a lead for a minute.
Yeah,
I could not believe it.
That was comical. Yeah,
it just made me feel so good after seeing us win 5-1 against Fulham, four wins in a row, going on to start with West Ham again away. I think we'll fancy our chances there as well. But looking at both teams offering absolutely nothing, it made me so happy, and I was so invested in the game. I was watching Kai Havertz struggle. He started hiding in about the 20th minute, hiding from the ball because the mistakes were mounting up, and he was just slipping back away. The same thing with Bruno Fernandes on his side. And I was like, you guys are supposed to be some of the players stepping up and grabbing the game, offering something.
You know what,
the best chances.
I thought Havertz was having a poor game, and I don't know what Arteta's looking at to not want to get him off the pitch. Like, I don't know what he's waiting to see, But for what I was seeing, I was like, he should have been off that pitch like 30, 40 minutes sooner. And
It's
then
because of the investment.
Yeah, that he might be a
You
coach.
can't drop the guy 3 games in when you've spent 65 mil and paid him 300 grand a week.
Killer. Yeah, but and then I was thinking the same thing on the opposite end with Casemiro though. I was looking at Casemiro like, oh my goodness, you're not ready to play today. Poor passes, late decision making. He just seemed to be a step off. It was like clinical, like both of you have said. I was watching that game and I was just like, who's gonna?
Do you know the weird thing is, Vader? If United sorted their defence out, I think they'd have an half-decent team. And that's coming from me. Because I think when they've got a fully fit midfield, they've got an half-decent midfield. And if you get Rashford on form, and if this Højlund comes off, I'm not saying United I look at Arsenal. There's a big difference. Arsenal spent 250 million quid.
Okay.
And I'm looking at it and going, where's the improvement?
So, yeah, let me build off that.
That's my issue with Arsenal right now.
So let me build off that because I was watching this game and I was like, okay, let me see who's a pretender, who's a contender. But to your point, Martin, because they had so many shifts in that defense, I'm looking at what they were able to do against Arsenal, and I'm now taking some ratings away from Arsenal. Like, look, this isn't a good United team, and why are you struggling like this? So
yeah, that's what I mean. And United had major injuries and didn't have all the signings in.
Yeah.
That is a £250 million improved Arsenal. And I'm sorry, they look worse.
Yeah.
They look worse. Saka needs to give his PFA Young Player of the Year award back. Because that's an embarrassment.
Easy. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. That's a whole nother can of worms that we'll deal with. And I want to get to the comments, but I also want to point this out. This game did not show either to be very strong and threat worthy. However, I think many of their fans are going to, and we know fans do this, United fans are going to be like, oh, we weren't fully healthy. Look at all the changes we made defensively. We're better than this. Arsenal fans are going to look at the final score and be like, it was 3-1. What are you guys complaining about? We won the game. So next up for United will be, after this international break, will be against Brighton. That is going to be a big game, important game, and that is at home. They're playing at Old Trafford for that. And then 4 days later, they play Bayern Munich. So this is a great international break. Those of you in the chat, enjoy the sun. I know Alex on vacay, just chill, recharge, because when you come back, these games are going to be intense. United, they're going to have Brighton, and they're going to have Champions League. There's going to be a lot that we're going to learn from the manager, from the players within those 4 days. Some 3 days, 4 days in terms of being played league-wise and Champions League. I know I'm way behind on these comments. My apologies. MCFR goes, Arsenal don't look a serious threat at all. My gal Rose says, Vader, Man United hasn't seen anything yet. Ten Hag talks about ending eras, not realizing it's over for them. He's so arrogant. They need to be extinct. Woo! Ooh, fire! And ashes. I think DC was talking about flames. Have them just go up at flames and ashes already. Get out of here. MCFR goes, gotta go now, Vader. Martin Klilnical, great stream. Love this channel, and I'll be back on the next stream. Thank you so very much. MCFR TV. Do a quick search in YouTube. Check out his channel. Give him a sub as well. Thank you so much.
MCFR TV, man. He's also almost on 1K subs, so.
Yeah, make that happen. Make that happen for him. Thanks for the love. Alec goes, Arsenal fans nuts. They won. Oh, wait, hold on. Arsenal fans nuts. They won league already. Watch some of their TV. Awful lot. And very diluted. Yeah, they believe that they've won the league already. They believe that City don't have that fire. They don't have that hunger anymore. They also want to, again, I know probability-wise, it's against us. No club in the Premier League has ever won 4 in a row. So statistically, probability, it's never been done before. So we've got that hill to overcome. But
yeah, but won't be a hill there. There'll be no hill. There ain't going to be no hill.
Oh, man.
Sounding arrogant, but I don't care. We're going to win this league by about 15 points. Sorry.
Woo, 15 points. All right. Listen. We're going to keep track of this. This is what I love every week. This is September 5th, even though we're doing September 4th in terms of the week. But you heard it from Martin, man. He's confident. I like it. Alec, MCFRTB, see you soon, mate. Showing some love there. Daniel, Arsenal fans don't know how to be humble. I saw them saying Rice is better than Rodri after the... Daniel, let's not even react. Let's not even get triggered. Let's be confident in ourselves and no. This Rice talk is absolutely ridiculous. Rice goal was fluke. Rice put a shot on net. All right.
No, he hit it very well. It was sweetly struck.
He hit it well. He put it on net, and he again looked for an opportunity, and he took it. I'm not mad at that, but consistency. And you heard my voice. See how it went high because I'm so annoyed. Rice is not at Rodri's level yet. He's not. Saka is not on Foden's level. Daniel, I was about to say the same thing. He's not. He's got to show more. Saka's got to show more. All right, they got to stop doing this comparison. Until I see Saka show up, because I didn't see him show up in Europa. So until I see him show up in Champions League, he needs to quiet down. Or his fan base needs to quiet down. Won't surprise me, Daniel. They're clueless. Yeah. All right. Oh, Daniel wants to say, Rico Lewis is a better number 10 than Havertz. I'm not joking. Listen, Rico playing so advanced in that game, I was very surprised by it. And I like the change up. He did look comfortable. Like it's something they've been working on in training.
You know what? I would argue that Havertz is worse at Arsenal than he was at Chelsea.
Yes.
In my opinion, he's a lot worse now.
Oh, I think many would agree with you, man. How on earth Saka won that is beyond me. He's talking about that player award. Yeah. I don't know, man. Arsenal thought they won it last season too. They did, Dre. They did, and they had to be rudely reminded. And I'm glad that it was rudely reminded that they didn't know what it took to win the league. Alec, Liverpool put up a bigger fight than Arsenal, and they failed. I think Liverpool are going to be the ones to put up the biggest fight this season, and we're gonna get into that. Let me put up this. DC wants to say, my blood boils when rival fans claim anyone's better than Rodri. Sit down. Listen, fans either show their bias or their lack of football knowledge when they speak like that. I either chalk you up as, okay, you're diehard, you're gonna ride for your team, for your player, cool, or you know nothing about ball. It's one or the other. You're either overcommitted to backing your team or your player, or you know nothing about ball. So either way. Ethan, Rice isn't even Calvin Phillips quality. Calvin looked good.
Oh, no, let's not do that.
Calvin looked good in that game. I like his movement. I like the passes he was kind of spraying. He looked a lot more comfortable. I want to see more of that. Mate,
we didn't put an £85 million bid in because we thought he was crap.
I'm not saying that, but
but what I mean is Declan Rice would have been a City player if Pep had his way. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, I mean there are some that are speculating that was strictly just to increase the bid. You know.
No, it was no. I 1,000% tell you now. It was a genuine bid, and he genuinely wanted it.
I know, man. I'm just playing. Rose goes, amen, Martin. We are winning it all. 4-peat, quadruple it will be for Manchester City. Oh my gosh.
We can't do the quad. Just throwing it out there so everyone.
Why couldn't we do the quad?
Unless we can be in two places at the same time.
Why can't we? What? Why do you say that?
Because the quarterfinals of the League Cup are the same date as well. We're out in Saudi Arabia.
They're the same date.
It's that week. That week we're in Saudi Arabia.
Surely the FA is gonna make some accommodations for us.
It's where you fit them. Well, where'd you play it? Because you've got all the Christmas fixtures to come in.
Surely they've got to do this. Come on, FA. You got to do this for us.
Look, they didn't do it for Liverpool. Does anyone remember a couple of years back? Liverpool had to throw the League Cup out the window for it.
Oh, my goodness. All
Do
right.
you remember when Liverpool went to Villa and got hammered?
Yeah.
They had to. They stopped. Remember they put the kids out because they were out in the Club World Cup.
Damn it. All right. Dre P. Gomez looked really good too. Didn't know he had that in him. Gomez did look a lot more comfortable forward. Daniel, I hate the international break. No, Daniel, no. You got to cherish the international break in terms of like a little break in schedule. I do think only 4 games played and then the break hits. I agree with you. But international breaks are good. But I think where this one falls, yeah, I'm not too happy about it. Yeah. Now let me put a star here. Let me get back to the standings because I want us to get through here. So we talked about United, Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Brentford, Crystal Palace. Will they all be in this mix? I'm not too sure. On Why Always Me, later in the week, we're going to do a proper, all right, who's top 4? Who's top 5? Who's going to be in that mix, 6th and 7th? And definitely who's going to be that challenger with a proper breakdown for this league title. But we got Brighton, we got Arsenal. I think Brighton and Arsenal are going to be within this top 5 battle this season. Brighton, in particular, they've got 4 games played, 3 wins, 1 loss. Their goal differential is +6, healthy, and they got their 9 points. They're just behind Arsenal, who are 5th in the league. And Arsenal, for those of you just listening, Arsenal have 4 games played, 4 wins, 1 draw. So they still remain undefeated. They're at 10 points. And we talked about their game against United. I'm just going to look at their schedule real quick after this international break. And after the international break, I don't think they could have asked for a better return. They've got Everton on the 17th. They should comfortably be able to handle Everton. They should comfortably handle Everton going into, I know they're playing away, but they're going to be playing away versus Everton, and then they play PSV in the Champions League. That's a home game. Oh my goodness. So yeah, they're chilling. We'll see what that's like. They haven't been in the Champions League for a minute now. It'll be interesting to see who Arteta plays versus Everton and who he has playing in the Champions League. And then coming out of the Champions League, they do play a London derby versus Tottenham 4 days later. So this international break, Daniel, chill, relax, because no, the games are coming every 3-4 days. Everton for Arsenal, 3 days later, they play PSV Champions League. 4 days later, they play Tottenham. Big, absolutely big. So that's what we have to look forward to with regards to Arsenal. All right, let me do this.
Vader game.
Next up, we got West Ham, who are currently 4th in the standings. They have the same record as Arsenal. They are also undefeated. And they've been quality. Let me just point out their wins. All right, So they won over Luton Town, newly promoted. That's kind of to be expected. I would say it was a surprise win versus Brighton. All right, that was a reality check, I guess, for Brighton. So they won 3-1, West Ham, and then they won 3-1 versus Chelsea, and they had that draw early against West Ham. So, Bournemouth. So West Ham's looking all right. They're looking all right. Ooh, I should have done this. After the international break, they play. They play us. Ooh, guys, they play us. That's big.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. And then they play in Europa 5 days later, followed by Liverpool 3 days after that. Good gosh. West Ham's got a tough one after international break. Okay. After West Ham, we got Liverpool. Liverpool, same record as same record as Tottenham, same record as West Ham and Arsenal. They are still undefeated. Liverpool, 3 wins, one draw, and let's point out their last few games. They played Aston Villa 3-0. That's a good win. It's a good win. 2-1 win over Newcastle. That should not have happened. Newcastle lost their way. Poor quality in that one because they were a man up. And Liverpool also came back to win, being a man down versus Bournemouth. And they had that draw early in the season against Chelsea. After the international break, I think they're laughing. I think they're happy to play Wolves. And they play Wolves on the Saturday, so we'll definitely review them on the Sunday. And then 5 days later in the Europa League, not Champions League, the Europa League, yes, you heard it correctly, Liverpool are playing in the Europa League. They play against LASK away. So following that, 3 days later, they play West Ham. So West Ham's got a tough week because they're not only will they be playing us, but they will be playing Liverpool later on after the international break. Tottenham, let's talk about them briefly.
Postubal.
What'd you say?
Postubal, as they're calling it now.
Oh, it's already been branded. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
They've already branded it.
They are looking quite impressive at the moment. I'll give them that. Tottenham are looking quite impressive.
Let's talk about that. They did give our man Kompany a lesson in that 5-2 game away for Tottenham, 5-2. And before that, they did get eliminated by Fulham in the League Cup penalties. But before that, they won 2-0 versus Bournemouth, and they won 2-0 versus United. So Tottenham are okay, man. Like these teams, they got their draw the first game of the season, and then they've gone on a win streak. So coming out of the international break,
yeah, the scoring goals and they're not conceding loads, which is kind of a good recipe at the moment. I'm not saying it'll continue, but they seem to have got rid of the angry managers.
Yeah,
and they've got rid of that big noose around their neck. That's Harry Kane as well, which I think is a good thing for them.
Yeah. They've been looking really good. I have to say, no Harry Kane. They found their way on terms of how they want to get their scoring, how they want to approach the game. And yeah, I think it's just continuing to watch them play. They play Sheffield.
He's not taking prisoners either, Bater.
Say again?
He's not taking prisoners. He's getting rid of players that other managers wouldn't do. Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
Look at Lloris. He's like, you're not good enough. Sorry, you're gone.
Yeah.
He's doing what every Tottenham manager should have done 2 or 3 years ago.
Great point.
He's not doing this. Daniel Levy says whatever he gets.
Yeah. And it's also a level of where you see fans, obviously they didn't know much of him, but they're showing patience, they're showing trust in the manager. And when you have wins like this, you're going to get time. You're going to get time from the fan base. So it'll be interesting to see what he ends up doing against Sheffield United. That's a home game. And then following that, he plays against Arsenal and then Liverpool. So it's going to be a tough week. This is going to be a good testing times coming out of international break. I'm excited. Those of you in the comments, I'm excited coming out of this international break because these games are going to be so important. So important. Now, let me throw this.
I'm sorry, I had another. I'll leave it towards the end because I've got a question about something that's not fully relevant, but it's on my mind, so I wanted to ask.
Yeah, and the last thing I do want to say before we move on from Spurs, I know it's a bit far away, but I want to keep an eye on if they're going to be going in for Ivan Toney in January, because I do feel like they're looking at that striker situation and seeing that they need clear improvement right there. And I also think that they should have gotten another center back this past window. So I want to see how all that's going to bode for them up until that January window opens.
Good point. I'm curious with our January transfer window as well, because I think the cloud that kind of is over Paqueta, if it still remains, and whether we might still go after him in the January window. But that's something to kind of monitor later on. Daniel, let me say this. Rice is closer to Phillips than to Rodri. I'm not mad at that, Daniel. I'm not mad at that. Bree, I'm not sure. Havertz is worse now, but he's adversely impacting a good team, making them worse as a whole versus just being one bad player amongst many at Chelsea. Yes, I think Xhaka, Granit Xhaka leaving and Havertz in that slot, he clearly does not match, does not mix well with them, and it's so apparent, like it's so clear. He makes them so less efficient, so less threatening. Everything really of worry is either Martinelli or on the other side of the pitch. Like honestly, when the ball's at Havertz's foot, it's just like, okay, where are you passing it?
Party's out for 6 weeks now as well.
I heard. I didn't know if that was confirmed. So that is big.
I think he had a good year last season in regards to injuries, but he was usually an injury-prone player before anyway. So,
yeah.
But at that point that Bree made earlier, I think that's a really good point. But for me, when I'm watching Havertz now, I feel like he has a bit of imposter syndrome. Like he looks so out of place. Like he doesn't know what his role is in the system, and he's kind of just an extra body on the field. And it seems like even when they do go on that left-hand side, after a certain amount of time, they start just bypassing him, and it's just directly to Martinelli, then get the ball to Havertz, and then he links it up from there. So that's where that basis was coming from.
I agree with that. I'm not laughing at you. Ethan sometimes throws out these comments that it makes me laugh. But he goes, West Ham will finish 15th. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but he's saying 15th. La Ciel Bleu, my guy, what's going on? He goes, hi, Vader and Blues. Miss stream and watch it later. Thank you so much. Do that, my guy. Hit that like button. Let the people know where they can find the show. Dre P, do you fear for Kompany? Will they give him a chance? Tough starting fixtures as well. I really hope so. I think what he did in championship, they should give him time. They should give him time because obviously the philosophy, what he wants to get done, is there. It's a fight, and I think they should allow him to figure it out. I don't think they're relegation bad. I don't think they're that bad. Dre P, I think Tottenham are the real deal, a team that could be dangerous if they get up top. I think Doku will be key versus Tottenham. Yeah, boy. I mean, listen, our control and attacking play along the wing is going to be really key when we do play against Tottenham because of how they tend to attack right now. They kind of attack wide and come central. But yeah, we'll kind of see. Alec, good point. Now, we got to talk about us. I want to give us a good 5-ish minutes because again, I want to keep this stream nice and tight. But we got to talk about us. And when I say us, I'm talking about Manchester City. If you have, you know what? If you have or haven't, go and check out this season's jerseys. Right, the home, the away, the third kit. I think they're all nice. I haven't seen the away close enough. I haven't touched the color. I still need to do that because I like the color.
Ugly as hell.
All right, it's not ugly. Have you seen it close up? It looks clean.
Yeah. My actual son, my son's got it. Ugly as hell.
Is it the collar? You don't like the collar? I
just don't like the colours. It's a dirty white and orange. What's that about? Maroon and orange. What? No. It's not good.
Okay,
Martin, I'm closer to agreeing with Martin on this one. I can't lie.
Yeah?
It's a bit too plain for me. I don't know. I don't see real buzz from it.
No, but when you're close up, the white has our badges on it. It has
maybe when I do see it in person, my opinion will change. You're probably right, but
it's got the invisible badges all over the jersey. But what I didn't get a chance because I only saw it on display hung up. I want to see the collar because it's got a flip collar kind of like in the front, but it fades and it's flat in the back. That's the only thing I don't know how much I would like it. So I wasn't too sure. DC, fashionista. She agrees with Martin. Martin is right. The maroon and off-white kit is offensively ugly. Ugle. She said ugle. Not even ugly. Ugle. Dre P goes, City has a system and a manager that covers for injuries better than the rest. The defense solidity also favors more than one win. Yeah. And you know what I like? I've always been very defensive minded. I like to, if you can prevent goals, all you have to do is then go out and score. The shootouts, I was never a big fan because it like can't really get consistency that way, especially when a team just decides that they don't want to play football. But I like how defensively sound we are. And again, the attacking threats that we have up there, and we got to talk about it. Man got another hat trick. He got another hat trick. We're quick to say that Haaland not going to be the same year two, right? He's not going to be scoring the same way. Funny enough, his first 3 games, he was on pace the same way he was the previous season. And now he just followed that up with a hat trick. Absolutely spectacular. We ourselves, obviously undefeated, 4 wins on the bounce. Early settings. We're not accustomed to this. We're accustomed getting a draw against Tottenham to start the season and then fumble our way to a few wins. But 4 in a row. Last season, how long did it take us to get 3 wins in a row? It took us a while. We've got 4 in a row to start the season off. This international break, I think it's good because Pep, back surgery, speedy recovery for him. He wasn't on the sideline the last 2 games. Hopefully this international break allows him to kind of heal up and we have him back. And we get everybody kind of rested up, recovering. We know there's still more time for KDB. We know John Stones needs a little more time. Jack Grealish as well. So let's get those guys to all heal up. You know what I mean? Let's get all those guys to heal up. Let's also get Rodri, put his feet up, ice packs, cool down, relax, and then come back for us. I know it's international duty, but let's get those guys to kind of chill a little bit and come back full force to kick off. I'm not going to review the games because we review the games every week. All right. But to start the season with our wins has been very good. I'm still disappointed with the Community Shield, but that's for another time. I got to let that go. But after the international break, we will be playing West Ham away. Okay. West Ham away, I'm confident that we'll have a game plan. I think Moyes is going to make that difficult for us. But what's important, we play that game against West Ham away. 3 days later, we play at home versus Kavrena.
Red Star Belgrade.
No, I gotta say it right.
No, they're called Red Star Belgrade.
Why can't I name it the way?
Because when they won the European Cup, they were called Red Star Belgrade. So I'm going to give them their name, Red Star Belgrade.
All right. Red Star Belgrade. We play them when we come back. We play them after we play West Ham 3 days later. And then 4 days after that, we play against Nottingham Forest at home as well. So away, home. That's actually good. Away, home. So I don't know how you guys feel. I think the most stress we're probably going to feel is going to be that West Ham game. Is Pep going to sub? How he's going to manage the players, knowing that we'll be having to play in a Champions League group stage game.
Go to Klilnical for this because if I speak, I get in trouble.
No. What's going on here? Oh, I will throw out the Klilnical, but you will speak as well because this is a panel.
No, because everyone wants Alice in Wonderland, and then when you say anything, you get called a gender merchant. So I just don't want the arguments. It's easier.
No, we're all speaking. But Klilnical, what do you think? What do you think? We play West Ham 3 days later. We're going to play in Champions League group stage. What's your gut telling you, or how? You know what? Not even that. How would you approach it? West Ham game. How would you approach it?
Well, I can't even say a bit. I'm very curious as to what Martin means. I do want to hear what he has to say on this, but I do think it's gonna be a tough game to an extent because they did have a really good start. I'm looking at that. I saw that game where they played Brighton, and their game plan was amazing. I can't lie. So we've also had tough games against West Ham in the past. So I'm semi-cautious of that. But how we're playing right now, I have full faith in Pep. He should be back, I think, for this game, if I'm not mistaken, from his surgery that he did.
Mhm.
So I hope to see him back on the sideline. It's great that a player like Doku got his debut before the break. He
Yeah.
can reminisce on that game that he had and see how he can bring that into upcoming games. And players like Grealish, hopefully he'll be back for this game as well. I want to see
I
how
want
many players we
everybody
have
healthy.
fit. Yeah, I want to
I
see how many
want
players we can
everybody
have
healthy,
fit by
yeah.
this game coming up. So,
Exactly.
but if that's the case and we do have a lot of those key players back, then I do think this will also be a formality. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. To your point, before I throw this to Martin, I like that Doku got a chance to play because he can also like now watch film. He could go back and watch the game and see, oh, you know what? Maybe I took on this player I shouldn't have. I should have recycled the ball, or you know what? I should have slipped this pass over to Holland before doing a move or a deke. So it's like just those little reviews. I think is going to pay off well for him to just fit in when asked to either sub or start.
Yeah.
For us
That's
moving
exactly
forward.
what I was trying to say, and I think it's great that he got time on the left and the right.
Yeah.
And he can also get some feedback from the coaches as well. So it's going to be good for him.
100%. Martin, well, how would you approach this? We got West Ham. 3 days later, we got Champions League. How are you approaching it? I know you can hear me, Martin. Come on, stop doing this.
Squad rotation, obviously, with the close games coming up.
Okay.
Got the squad for it now.
Which one's more important?
Don't ask me that. This is the question I don't want to go down. Stop doing this. Stop setting it up.
All right. You know what?
Because it's a no-win situation, and you know it's a no-win situation.
No, you know what? This is what I love. And this is
I get called agenda, racism, everything will get labeled at me, and I'm not doing it.
We're not doing that. We're not doing this on CIA. We're not doing this CIA intelligence agenda. We're not doing this. But I do love this, and everyone in the comments. What we're going to make sure we do, because again, we got 2 weeks of this, guys. Honestly, we got 2 weeks. So we know that we got an important game. What we're going to discuss next time in detail will be next show in detail. We're actually going to review the squad. We're going to review Liverpool's squad head to toe, Arsenal squad head to toe, and really point out why, in my opinion, are Liverpool the more threatening club versus Arsenal. We're going to point that out, and then we're going to touch on what would be our 11 to play against West Ham, knowing that 3 days later we got to play in the Champions League. We're going to do it. We're going to do it systematically. We're going to do it without real emotion, and we're just going to break that down. Let me go to this last comment from Rose. Rose wants to say, Vader, I pray that each Manchester City player will return injury-free from the international break. Rose, I hope so. I really hope so. I want everybody as fresh as possible. I like that. I hope that Pep can have all of the available ingredients at his disposal, and then he picks what he wants to do instead of, you know what, I've got guys injured, here's who I will have to play.
It's interesting because, mate, I'll say this, what we have got is different options for different opponents.
Yes. Yeah, we do.
And that's what I like. And what I think we've got to be careful as fans, we've got to stop this. This person's going to be amazing. This person's going to be no good. We're just going to let them develop into the best way they can.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, for example, I turned around and I said I thought Doku had an okay debut. Thought defensively he was very good. I thought offensively he struggled a bit because of the system. That was because my thing of it was he's had no training under Pep Guardiola. Now I got murdered for that and got called a racist. So if anyone in the comments wants to know why I'm being a bit off, I'm not, because Veta knows this. I've spoke with Veta privately about this. In the fan base at the minute, there is this thing of, if you say anything negative about a player, you hate them. If you say anything positive about a player, you love them and you become their agent. And all it is I look at it from a coach's standpoint and a little bit of what I know or what I'm told from what certain players want. Like, for example, I know Foden doesn't want to play out wide anymore.
Okay.
He doesn't want to play wide. He wants to play in the middle.
Mm.
Now, for example, I want to swap Alvarez and Foden over. I want Alvarez on the wide right, and I want Foden as the 10. That's just my preference.
Okay.
It's nothing to do because Foden's English, or because Foden will always. What fans need to realise is Foden will always get preferential treatment because he's a blue, and he's a homegrown blue
from a portion of the fan base. You mean? Like, I don't think
from
inside the club. I don't think
from the fan base in the UK. Foden will always get more preferential treatment than a lot of other players because of his background and where he's from. Whether that's right or whether that's wrong, I'm not kicking Alvarez out the team. I've just put Alvarez on the wide right because I'm looking at what I think you'll get the best out of both players. But where I'm excited about the squad, because you've still got Núñez. I mean, the big thing here, we all talked about how great it was on Saturday. The second half, it was great. But you still got Bernardo to come in.
Yeah.
Still got Calvin Phillips. People want Gomez in.
Yeah.
They can't all play.
And this
is the beauty of it.
And this is where I really want to make this point with regards to the show, and we'll all simmer on this a little bit. I want everyone healthy. Everyone healthy, and then we see who our manager chooses to play. That's what I want to see. And we go from there. So,
did you know the funny thing is, Vato? We fall out as fans, and we have, and I'm not even going to say debate; they turn into arguments. Arguments start, and do you know what makes me laugh? Not one of us picks the team, but we all fall out with each other and call each other all sorts. And it's Pep Guardiola who chooses the team at the end of the day. So, yes, we can debate it, but there's no point in all arguing and falling out over it because Pep Guardiola chooses the team.
Yeah. Of course.
It doesn't matter what we all debate. That's pointless.
The player debates, some are forced, some are, I guess, some are agenda-driven, some are observations made from others, and some are speculative. Like, some people just inject what they see onto others. But I do say this: when not much evidence has been made available and people have their hard opinions, it's just like, slow down for a little bit.
But the thing is, second half, like Daniel's put, we look great. But then Gomez looked good when he come on. Where does he fit? Where are you putting Bernardo? Where are you putting Núñez?
Yeah.
These are the things that Pep has to sort out.
This is why I don't get triggered. And I said this at the beginning of the show, like some of these, player versus player movements that happen within the fan base. Sometimes a player is going to look great when they were able to be on the sideline, watch 80 minutes played, and then come on with fresh legs, with knowing exactly how they want to attack. Like, sometimes that's beneficial.
What you're giving there is context. At a player can play different at 4-1 up. When a team is dead with confidence, they're out of it. They come on in the 85th minute and come in the game. That's very different to starting at 0-0 at 90 minutes.
Yeah, or coming on to either.
It's a very different scenario, and that isn't a dig at Gomez. Gomez was brilliant. Calvin Phillips was brilliant when he come on. But now the next step for Calvin and Gomez is to come and do it 45 minutes. Then you go to a game, and then you see how they develop. Because what we do as fans is, he looks great for 10, 15 minutes. He starts a game. Oh, well, he's not good anymore. And then we drop to he's not very good anymore. People have seen it with Doku. Doku wasn't very good. No, Doku just has had no training with Pep.
Yeah.
Doku wasn't doing what...
All it is getting familiar with how players move in the squad.
Exactly.
I do want to say this, guys and girls, in the comments. The love is there. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for the likes with regards to this video. Please, in the description, you'll see the details to Klinical's channel as well as Martin. All right, Klinical's channel's there. Martin the Mancunian Ways channel's there. Please click on it, subscribe if you haven't already. I'll let both of them talk about their upcoming videos that they may be doing or live streams. I myself am so happy to have you guys. I'm going to have to wrap this up really quickly because it's going to be dinner prep and hearing about the kids' day. But thank you all so very much. Let me put the standings back on screen. And Klilnical, tell the people about what you got coming up next.
Yeah, I was actually trying to organize a debate show for today. I actually didn't get that to go through. So, if not the remaining parts of this week, then definitely next week I do want to strike something like that. Um, and on the weekend, I should have something big for the channel coming up. I think it's gonna be really big for the channel, and I'm hoping that it does come through. But it's still in the works, so I don't wanna get too much on that. I'll keep it a secret for now.
Yo, keep that under
It's
wrap.
the best
Keep that
kept
under wrap.
secret on YouTube. So
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Now, I don't know why the app is messed up because it's not showing either of your logos or avatars or whatever. So hopefully that changes. Martin, you want to let the people know what you got upcoming? I know you're on a little bit of a break, but what you got next?
We've got a show tomorrow.
Okay.
We've got a brand new show we're introducing onto the channel. I've been doing a Premier League review show for about a year, but with different channels, but on their channels. So this time we're bringing it to the Mancunian way.
Okay.
And that will be live from 8 o'clock, where we're going to review the transfer window with two Newcastle fans, a Crystal Palace fan, a Brighton fan, a West Ham fan, and myself.
Nice. All right. So again, their channel details are in the description of this one. Click on it. You'll get the notification. You'll know when they're posting upcoming shows and when they're live.
Sorry to interrupt. I've got one more thing. The competition giveaway will be announced tomorrow night live on the Mancunian Way. So anyone who is a channel member, and I thank you all for being channel members, please be with us tomorrow night because your name may be drawn out for the monthly prize giveaway.
Get over there, and if you have to be present to win it, right?
You've got to have been a member you've got till midnight tonight to become a member.
Midnight tonight to become a member to get a chance to win it. So don't miss out on that.
Otherwise, you'll roll into September's giveaway.
Yeah.
You can still become a member, but you'll just go into September's giveaway.
The odds are better if you can be part of earlier than later. The odds are better for you. So be a part of that. Want to thank you both for being a part of the show. We covered a lot. DC wants to say, great show. Thanks, friends. My gal Rose said, Vader, blessings to you all. So that's shout out to you, Klilnical and Martin. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you so very much. Daniel said, great show as well. I will catch you, why always me, later in the week. This was CIA Intelligent Agendas, episode 19, City, 4 wins in a row. Let's see if we can make it 5 coming out of this international break. And we will be back again on Vader Games. This was Vader Games TV. Thank you so very much. We'll talk soon.